Samaritans and Jews did not like each other. This is not like Eagles fans and Cowboys fans. It's close, but it's worse, okay? By the way, way to go Braves. Let's roll. And so I can be happy for you for that one. But here's the thing. This is not like that. That's not what this is. This is kind of like Civil War type stuff. This is kind of like groups of people who hated each other so much that here's the reality. That instead of going straight to Oklahoma from Texas, you would like go into Louisiana and you would go the long way around because you didn't want to go through a particular city or region. That's how bad this was. You would take, instead of going 3.5 hours up to Oklahoma City, which I know none of us ever do, but if you were going to, you would actually go the long way round to get to where you were going. Why? Because I don't even want to go through that region. In fact, one summation of this said it like this. David Guzik says, when the Babylonians conquered the southern kingdom, and this is kind of how we ended up with this ethnic group called the Samaritans, conquered the southern kingdom of Judah, they took almost all the population captive, exiling them to the Babylonian Empire. All they left behind were the lowest classes of society. Because remember, we're still talking about a group of people that you had levels of society, and you knew who they were. All right? Because they didn't want these lowly regarded people in Babylonia. These ones left behind intermarried with other non-Jewish peoples who slowly came into the region, and the Samaritans emerged as an ethnic and religious group. So Jews who were all about being set apart, doing all these rituals, all this stuff to make sure. So Jesus shows up, sees a Samaritan woman. This Samaritan woman, again, even in that day, in that age, the Samaritan, but a woman, this whole thing is out of sorts. This whole thing is not what you're supposed to be doing. But remember, what are we trying to do here? We're trying to see Jesus. I want you to see Jesus in this moment. So Jesus begins to interact with this woman and says, I need a drink of water. And she says, well, how dare you ask me to give you a drink? How dare you kind of step into my world and ask me to do something for you? And so Jesus kind of replies with an interesting answer, because she kind of goes, why would you do this? We don't talk to each other. You're not even supposed to be here. And yet the writer of John says that he needed to go there. So there's some intention here. And what's really interesting is we're talking about names like Jacob's Well. We're talking about names kind of have a big, we have so decided that we are too good for this, or we have separating ourselves from that we can't even go back to that and realize what God had done there. And so we're not even going to step foot in that. Jesus, I love Jesus and it just be freedom to never answer a question straightly. She says, how dare you ask me to give you a drink of water? And Jesus flips it on her and says, Jesus answered, if you knew the gift of God and who is saying it to you, give me a drink, you would actually turn around and ask him for a drink, and he would give you what? Living water.